Let's do something you never do in airplanes. Let's bring our airspeed to 0 knots. Gently pull the cyclic back until you reach 0 knots. This is called hovering out of ground effect. Feels interesting for airplane pilots, doesn't it? Keep the cyclic back to maintain 0 knots airspeed. Now try to use your trim to move the neutral position of your cyclic. You can trim the helicopter when you hover, when you climb, or when you are in cruise. This releases the forces on the stick and lets you better feel the controls. Nice. But just when you thought flying helicopters is all easy, I want to admit that currently I'm helping you stabilize our helicopter. You see, since we slowed down, the airflow over the tail is not enough to counteract the helicopter's rotating tendencies anymore. So I keep pushing the right pedal and adjusting our cyclic a little to stabilize our flight. Let me show you what happens when I stop helping you. Okay, I am assisting you again. Don't let these rotating tendencies scare you. It is a fun challenge, and you will master it in no time during our next trainings. As for our today's lesson, I believe a little more practice with maintaining the correct speed would do you good. I would even recommend reviewing your old airplane trainings related to attitude and turns.
Training complete. We did have a brief little disconnect. Connection upload. Next training.
Welcome to our first hovering lesson. To hover in ground effect means to maintain a constant position a few feet above the ground. It is not as easy as it sounds. In fact, hovering a helicopter is challenging, a bit like trying to pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. A helicopter has 3 highly sensitive controls, but at first I will be giving you only one control at a time to handle. Your first control to master will be the collective lever. Remember, it is located on the left side of your seat.
Okay. Look at the collective. Shift K. Look at, witness me.
The collective controls your height above the ground. We will use it to take off to a hover. When you raise the collective control, the pitch angles of the main rotor blades increase. This increases lift, and the helicopter climbs. When you lower the collective, pitch angles decrease. This decreases lift, so the helicopter descends. Easy, right? Another thing we will need today is the EPM, which stands for Electronic Pilot Monitor. You might remember it from our previous lesson. Today you will learn monitoring power percentage with a multiple limit indicator. The most important thing to remember about power indications is to never go over 100%. You can read more about that subject in the briefing notes. Okay, enough lecturing. Time to fly. Before taking off, always check that all gauges are green and that we have enough fuel. As you can see, the tank is half full. This is more than enough for our training. Now look left and right to make sure we don't have people or vehicles approaching.
I'm looking. I'm looking everywhere. I looked already. We're all good.
All good, and we are clear to go. You have collective control now. Slowly raise it to the point where we become light on skids. This will be around 65% of available power. Be careful. First, you won't see any reaction to your movement, but power will catch up soon. Now move the collective just a little more to get to 2 feet altitude hover. And don't mind us moving laterally. Today I will take care of that. There you are. Keep hovering at 2 feet now. You see, since we are hovering so low, the altimeter will be not useful. Judge your altitude just by looking outside. You are higher than 2 feet now. Lower collective a bit to descend. 2 feet is approximately 1/3 of the length of the cavity skid. You are higher than 8 feet now. Lower the collective a little to descend. A little to descend. You are higher than 8 feet now. Lower the collective a little to descend. Remember, the main trick of the hovering challenge is to move the controls as gently as possible. There you are. Keep hovering at 2 feet now. When you find a proper collective position, you don't need to keep adjusting it, given that we are not moving and there is no wind like today. Look around and memorize how 2 feet of altitude looks. You see, since we are hovering so low, the altimeter will be not useful. Judge your altitude just by looking outside. Also, look at the power indications and memorize the number. 2 feet is approximately 1/3 of the length of the cavity skid. This is the amount of power required for hovering in ground effect, and it depends on lots of factors such as our weight and the weather. But you may find it useful to remember this number for our training today. Now let's see how little you should increase power to hover at 8 feet altitude. Gently raise the collective just enough to get to 8 feet altitude and stop there. You are getting more and more confident with collective control. Keep hovering at 8 feet while I am talking. Look around and try to remember how 8 feet altitude looks like. It is an important altitude. You should avoid climbing higher when you hover in ground proximity. We will talk about it more in our later trainings, but for now, just remember, if your engine quits when you are higher than 8 feet and you don't have enough airspeed, you won't be able to land safely. So whenever you hover stationary in ground proximity or hover taxi, stay below 8 feet and you will be safe. Now let's go back to a 2-foot hover. Still remember which power indications to aim for? There you are. I can see that now you understand sensitivity and inertia of the collective lever much better. Our last objective for this training session is landing from a hover. Remember to always stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude before touching the ground. Now, very gently lower the collective control until you find yourself firmly on the ground. Remember to always stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude before touching the ground. Congratulations! You just did your first landing from a hover. You mastered collective and hovering flight pretty well. Time to start mastering anti-torque pedals now.
Complete. Exciting stuff. I know. I know, it's very exciting.
Starter.
Welcome to the second part of our hovering training series. This time you will get familiar with anti-torque pedals. I will be helping you at first, but by the end of this training session, you will be in full control over our heading. Let's start with taking off to a hover. You already know how to do that. Before raising collective, always check that all gauges are green, we have enough fuel, and there are no obstacles nearby. All good. You have collective control now. Gently raise it, get light on the skids first, and only then take off to a 2-foot hover. It is nice to see you are getting more and more confident with collective control. Stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude. Here you go. It is nice to see you are getting more and more confident with collective control. Let's move on to the anti-torque pedals now. Stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude. Look, they're located in the same position as the rudder pedals in airplanes.
See ya. Bonk.
They also serve similar purpose, which is controlling the direction where the nose of the aircraft points. Only that in helicopters it happens due to increasing or reducing the thrust produced by the tail rotor. Try to gently apply pedals one after the other, and you will see how the nose yaws in the direction of the applied pedal. Easy, isn't it? Now try to turn toward the helicopter parking on your right-hand side. Apply the right pedal to start the turn, and the left one to stop at the required heading. Pretty good. When making pivoting turns, try to make one smooth movement, and then stop exactly at the desired heading. Now turn 90 degrees left, back to our original heading toward the runway and away from the hangars. Easy, right? Keep in mind that we use pedals to make turns like that only when hovering. We call it pedal turn. In cruise, we change the direction of flight using the cyclic stick, while pedals are used only for adjusting the side slip angle, like in airplanes. By the way, remember our briefing? There is a torque effect caused by our rotor rotating clockwise, and we use pedals to eliminate this rotating tendency. Until now, I was assisting you with the anti-torque control, so you would be able to try changing heading without additional stress of fighting the torque. It is time for you to have full pedal control. On the count of 3, I will stop assisting you with anti-torque. Remember, our rotor rotates clockwise, which means the torque effect will immediately turn our nose left. You will have to press the right pedal to counteract that torque. Ready? You'll be given full pedal control in 3, 2, 1, now. Try to maintain our original heading toward the runway. It is all a matter of finding a good position for the pedals which counteracts the torque. Let's turn 90 degrees left, toward the edge of the trees on the left-hand side. Yes, the helicopter will try to turn there itself, as soon as you ease your right pedal pressure. With small, gentle pedals movements, try to keep our nose heading toward the edge of the trees. Good. You are getting better and better. Let's now slowly turn right all the way to the helicopter parking, which is behind our back now. Let's turn 90 degrees left, back to our original heading toward the runway. Super. Now you know how to change and maintain heading with anti-torque pedals, as well as how to counteract the torque. I will now let you perform a little more advanced landing than last time. You will have control of both collective and pedals in the same time. First, fully stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude. Carefully maintain your heading toward the runway. Always make sure you don't have any movement or yawing before you touch the ground. Now, gently lower the collective control until you find yourself firmly on the ground. First, fully stabilize your hover at 2 feet altitude. Carefully maintain your heading toward the runway. Always make sure you don't have any movement or yawing before you touch the ground. Congratulations. You landed while having full control of pedals and collective. Way to go. Today you mastered anti-torque pedals. See you in our next training session dedicated to cyclic control.
I mastered it. I'm glad I can master that in one class. Okay, well, I think we got anything else I really need to know. Hover flight, take off and climb. Okay, let's do an approach. Transition from traffic pattern to a hover. Let's do this one. I think we can skip the other ones. We're pros now.
Hi there, I am controlling the helicopter now, and we are approaching the right downwind leg of the Grenoble-Le Versailles traffic pattern. Prepare to take control of the helicopter in 3, 2, 1, now. What? Good. Today we will perform an approach to a helipad. Maintain 70 knots airspeed and 1,200 feet altitude. This is 500 feet above the ground, which is a typical traffic pattern altitude for helicopters. Look right and find our helipad. When we are abeam the helipad, we will start to slow down. Passing the helipad on the right, start slowing down to 60 knots airspeed. You will have to reduce the collective a little to avoid climbing.
I don't see the air pad yet. maintain 1200.
Turn right to the base leg. Keep your turns coordinated. Ball and yaw string should be centered. Slowly begin your descent. For a normal approach, after our next turn to final, we want to be 1,000 feet MSL. Now look around, check for traffic, and then make a right turn to final. Aim to arrive to the final leg at 1,000 feet altitude with 50 knots airspeed. See the helipad? Try to keep this angle of approach now. Start to gradually slow down. You have to coordinate your descent and speed, and arrive at the helipad with your ground speed and descent reaching 0 at the same time. In the last phase, slowly raise the collective to overcome loss of effective transactional lift, and, in the end, inertia. Stabilize your hover over the helipad now. You can trim the helicopter when you hover, when you climb, or when you are in cruise. This releases the forces on the stick and lets you better feel the controls. Job. A little more practice, and you will be a pro. That was a very good approach. Way to go. I believe you are ready for your first solo flight.
Definitely tricky. Definitely trickier. Trickier there. It's really difficult to keep the airspeed. The airspeed is and the altitude and airspeed are definitely two of the tricky things to do.
Congratulations on reaching this significant milestone, your first solo flight. You've worked hard to get to this point, and I have complete confidence in your skills and abilities to make a perfect traffic pattern. Remember, you've trained extensively for this moment, and you know what to do. Stay calm, trust your training, and remain focused. And don't forget about doing a pre-flight check and removing all those covers.
Oh, there we go. I'm like, how do I do that? I missed one. Where's the pilot cover? Remove. Is it that thing down there? There we go. Shift C to enter. Control E, start up. Stop at the helipad. I got a taxi over there? Oh, okay. The sound is pretty nice. I find it pretty funny. I have to taxi to the helipad. Take off from the helipad. Reach the crosswind turn. Climb to 1200. Producing some power. Maintain altitude 1200. Hoover! Too high, too high, too high. Hoover! To the helipad. That's right. Making it the approach. Power. Too much power. Too much power. Little changes. I gotta hover. Back to the parking stand. Control Shift E.
You can use the rotor brake to expedite the slowing down and stopping of the main rotor.
Control. What is that? Control space bar? Oh.
Fantastic job. You flew perfectly with no mistakes. I couldn't be more proud.
Ooh. Ooh, yes. Perfectly with no mistakes. Good enough for me. Can I... Oh! Guess what? I can't even take this exam. I can't even take this exam. I don't have enough credits. Doe. I only have 500 credits. So how do I gotta make money. I gotta make some money. So I think I have to take my... Oh, are these unlocked now? At least I had practice, yeah. Exactly. Okay, so I did that one. Commercial flight. Okay. The graphic is not loading up on this one. Is this the airplane I like? No, this one. I need to do... What's my missions list? I need to get money. Are these gonna give me money? That is the question. don't see any like money. See, I'm a little confused by the mission list. Specialization. Flight sing. Ferry flight. There's some prerequisites for these. So I got the level 1, I got the pilot's license. I can do ferry flights, commercial pilot license. I gotta do this. Okay, so I assume we gotta do a ferry flight. I was like, where's our ferry flight? Here. Let's do this one. So we'll fly from depart. Okay, I'll fly up there, go to Gig Harbor, and fly back down. Final. Alright, let's try. I still don't see any. A moment with Grandpa. Well, let's do this one, and then see if it counts towards my specialization. Gotta skip the taxi. Skip it.
Captain, if there's a day made for flying, this is it. For today's flight, you're taking Michael, one of our friends and his granddad, over Gig Harbor. Please ensure that everyone has fastened their seatbelts. Safety is paramount. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Ground Cessna November 80520 with Alpha request taxi to the active north departure.
Cessna November 80520 taxi to and hold short of runway 17 using taxiway. Contact tower on 121.8 when ready.
I need to friggin' change our settings to camera, reset camera position. Let's see, cockpit camera. Toggle. Reset. There we go. Oh. There we go. Perfect.
Taxiing hold short runway 17 via taxiway Cessna 520.
Parking brakes.
Hi. Thanks for taking us aboard. I'm Michael. I'm thrilled to fly over Gig Harbor with you. This is Grandpa's hometown, so it's kinda special for us today.
Hey, I'm Michael, Michael's granddad. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. I don't see how they expect me to make these turns. Pleasure. Am I doing anything fun tomorrow? Not really. We've already had our Thanksgiving kind of festivities, so yeah, not really. I do have to go to the airport tomorrow, but that's going to be early in the morning.
Tower Cessna November 80520 ready for north departure at runway 17.
Cessna November 80520 altimeter 29.902 north, departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 17.
Clear for takeoff runway 17 Cessna 520.
Super pilot, so we're in your hands now.
I have to drop off the fam to the airport, so I'll be doing that early in the morning, and then I will be free as a bird. Until the 13th.
Wow, this is quite a feeling.
Yeah, we had a huge ass turkey. Yeah. I'll send you some photos.
Cessna 520, continue for north departure.
Yeah, we had a big ass turkey.
Tower Cessna November 80520 continue for north departure.
And also had really great ham. I love ham. I definitely don't get enough ham in my life. I need ham. Turkey is super hard to get right. Turkey is like 90% of the time. Turkey, it just
Relax,
doesn't.
Michael. You're gripping the seat so hard you're going to break your hand.
What? Did I overfly the airport without an announcement? What? Wait a minute, that announcement. The hell? Why am I getting docked? Points here.
The Earth is unfolding before our eyes. I love it.
Bastards. Anyways, too much ham. Ham is always easy to get right. Turkey is not. It's either too dry, not flavorful enough. I think too dry, generally, I don't see that as much anymore of a problem. But it's just not flavorful enough. Like plain turkey.
The world looks so detailed from up here.
Like, yeah, you can use gravy and stuff on it, but yeah, it's so hard to get right. There's only, like, if you buy turkey from, like, Costco or something, then it's always right. It's so good. Just the meat itself is very flavorful.
The sky is out of this world. We're lucky to see this.
Yeah, I'll be leaving on the 13th of December.
I see Gig Harbor. We got a clear view of everything from here. I love it.
It's amazing. I recognize everything down there.
Altitude 1000, speed 87. Stay at 1000.
Cessna 520, leaving my airspace frequency. Change approved.
Tower Cessna November 80520 frequency change.
Oh, stay below it.
I've never seen the area like this. Hey, I can see my house.
I spotted it too. I had just enough time to take a pic.
Oh,
I'll send it
what
over
happened?
as a little keepsake.
I can't even explain how happy I am to be sharing this with you. It means so
My
much
engine
to me.
stalled. What happened?
Stall. Stall.
What? What happened?
Stall. Stall.
My engine! What happened to my engine? Huh? Crap, did I
500.
hit something with my...
I wish we could get a better overview, but we're too low for that.
Oh crap. I might have clicked on something on accident. No! Mayday! Mayday!
Hey, it's shaking.
My engine! What happened?
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Tower Cessna November 80520 is 3 miles north 1,000 feet with Alpha to land.
Don't sink. Don't Don't sink. Don't
Cessna
sink.
November 80520 Tower. Altimeter 29.902 McStraight in runway 17.
What the hell happened here? I think I might have clicked something with my mouse on accident. Yeah. That was